All right, what's up, guys? So, I'm going to talk about passive aggressive behavior and why it's annoying. And a lot of times when people show passive aggressive behavior, they're mad about something. They talk in an indirect way. They'll be sarcastic or they'll give the silent treatment, or like they'll be mad about something and then they'll say, "Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about it." When really they're mad about something. They're probably mad about you, or they're mad about like someone. And they like when someone's like passive aggressive, they're like insecure. They're too insecure to be direct on saying what is wrong, and they rather play games, and they want to they like their tone of voice is like they act fucking mad. They don't literally start yelling and screaming and stuff like that. They'll just act like they're irritated, act annoyed, and when they get mad, it's just they just play games. And they they can be annoying to work with. For example, like those type of coworkers. Like you ask them, "Can you pass me this?" They act like they didn't hear you. And then say some people be working and they'll purposely make mistakes because they're pissed off at their other coworker or something, or they'll like purposely, like maybe the boss will purposely make mistakes because they don't like how their workers are working. It's not just work. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like it could be anywhere. Like it could be at school. It could be from your family. It's worse when you have like a passive aggressive parent. When they use sarcasm when they're pissed off at their child and they're screaming, they're yelling, and when they should be directly trying to prevent the kid from crying in a productive way, they'll get mad at the kid. They'll be sarcastic with them and play the silent treatment with the kid. That's To me, that's like a form of abuse if you act passive aggressive to your kid all the time. And then when you do that, that's passed on to the child. That child could develop passive aggressive behavior and can do that to random people, and that's disrespectful. I dealt with that a lot of times in my life, from coworkers to people at school, even my family members. And it's a pain in the ass to deal with. It's even worse when you have autism. When you're dealing with a passive aggressive neurotypical, they tend to notice that this person is neurodivergent, and they know that the person with autism, for example, talks in a direct way most of the time. They take things literally. So the neurotypical that's active passive aggressive will play mind games with the neurodivergent, and they'll act sarcastic. They'll play the silent treatment. And basically they'll just talk indirectly to the person with autism. The person with autism may be slow to get it, or maybe may not get it at all if they're further on the spectrum. And that's disrespectful to someone that's neurodivergent. Because you don't have patience to understand the person that has autism, you know, because maybe it's because you can stand their communication style, you know, because they're so direct, they're so literal, you know, or they just can't take your jokes, they can't understand your sarcasm, or you don't like when they don't give you eye contact, you know, and really it's not them doing it on purpose, it's just how they are, you know. Right? So it's worse when it's like with neurodivergence, for example. And it's bad with anybody, but that's what sucks about that. Like when the person is pissed off, they should just stand up for themselves and try to say what's wrong, you know? Or they don't like something, should just directly tell them, I don't like this, you know? People will understand that better than someone being passive aggressive. Then you're just playing games and you're just kind of annoying this person, and you're just going to cause a fight with somebody at work, or you're going to cause a fight with a family member, you know? It's something else. Yeah, and then like you may be doing shit with your body language, like you won't be showing like how you really feel directly with your body language with somebody, right? Like if you're crossing your arms, you're mad. Like maybe you're mad with your body language, but with your words, you're being sarcastic with them, you know? Because it's just insecurity. And there's a lot of people that do this that tend to gaslight too. A lot of passive aggressive people are also gaslighters. They tend to make you gaslight, and you just think it through. Like, am I really doing this wrong? Is this person trying to play mind games, you know? Kind of like with the silent treatment, or say the person says you're acting too sensitive when you actually are genuinely upset about something, and you know this person's trying to make you look bad, try to make you overreact, and that's what happens when you deal with passive aggressive people. They try to push your buttons, and then they want to see you react, and then when that happens, the passive aggressive person wins because this person's acting out, this person wants to fight, this person wants to act belligerent to this person, you know? A person will see that, be like, oh, it's that person's fault right away, when really it's the passive aggressive person's trying to instigate and trying to start a problem, you know? But really this person should be saying why they're mad, and just tell them, you know. And then a lot of times they tend to talk gossip. A lot of times they tend to talk shit to like the person that they're pissed off about, you know, and why they can't stand them, and why they're like doing this weird behavior, or they're not communicating right, or whatever it is. Like passive aggressive people tend to gossip a lot too, you know. And I guess it's best to stay away from them, or if they keep doing it, I guess it's not easy, but it's best to call out on their passive aggressive behavior, you know, so they don't have to keep doing it to you no more. When you call that out on them, they'll get scared, you know, and they'll most likely not act that way. But, you know, I feel like most people always resort to acting with a passive aggressive behavior right when they get called out. There's people that just don't listen. There's people that don't care. Like they don't tend to change that behavior. It's just toxic. It just causes hostility, and it just makes it like worse with communication. And if you're in a relationship with someone that is very passive with you, it's not going to end well. It's going to be a lot of fights, and say like you have kids with this person, and the kids see you guys fighting, and it's caused by like passive aggressive behavior, and just making everyone mad. And the kids see that, they're gonna be messed up when they get older. So yeah, there's a lot of people that act that way. I mean, I guess everyone acts passive aggressive at times. People have bad days. But there's people that tend to do this a lot, and they tend to do it when they're always mad, and that's pretty common, it seems like. And it's just childish. It's just like immature, Trying to think of anything else. Yeah, if you're dealing with those type of people, try to stay away from them as best you can if they keep doing it to you or other people, because it's just toxic. We'll catch you guys later.